thinking of a GPS for your motorcycle, one option is the Garmin Zumo 220, and one of its features is that it connects via Bluetooth to a headset, such as the Scala Rider Pro Q2. So this video is going to show you quickly installation of this GPS and usage with this here helmet and Scala Rider. The Garmin Zumo 220 comes with a RAM mounting system. You get the dock to connect your GPS to, and you get three options. Here you get the RAM mount, which is a neck, a very short one. I already have one on the motorcycle, so this is an extra. You get a ball to connect the neck into and adjust it any way you wish. And then you get the feature of where to mount the Zumo on your bike. You have a choice. You have an U bracket here, which you can mount on if you have a motorcycle that has a bar, or you have this, which is the brake mount, or any such mount that has two screws, and it comes with a series of screws. You can connect it here. Depends on how you like to view your GPS. I'm one of those individuals that believes the GPS should be in the center, so when you're driving you just have to take your eyes and look down. So my GPS is mounted in the center, and I'll show you that quickly. The majority of sport motorcycles come with a hole in the center of your steering column. Sometimes there's a metal cover over it or a plastic cover. You just have to pop that off with a screwdriver. And you'll have to get a RAM mounting system to go inside. As you can see, I have one right there. It's separate from what comes with the Garmin Zumo. But as soon as you install that, then the rest of the pieces that come with the Garmin Zumo attach very nicely. The Garmin Zumo 220 is powered by a USB connector, and the connector attaches to your battery. There's a little box in between that converts the power to the right amount for a USB. This is actually a great system because many devices today are USB. So if you're driving along and your phone is almost out of power, connect it to this little USB device, and it recharges your phone. It recharges many items, not just your Garmin Zumo. Installation of the Garmin Zumo 220 power source is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is run the cable from the battery to the Garmin Zumo 220. It's that simple. So in my case, here it is. There's some twist ties holding it in place that come with the installation kit. It's just run down through the gaps. Many motorcycles have gaps all over the place. It comes up over here. I've removed the seat so you can see, and it connects to the actual battery. The actual converter of the power is a little box. It's part of the kit. It's right there. One thing the kit does not include, that I found quite essential, are little eyelets. As if you look at the battery, everything is connected nicely with little round eyelets. Within the Garmin Zumo 220, all the kit includes is basically the wire, which has two ends, positive and negative, and they're basically wires. There's nothing on the end. So go to your local hardware store, pick up some little eyelets such as this, attach them to the end of the wires, attach that to the battery, and you'll have no problems with your wires becoming frayed and touching something they should not touch. The Garmin Zumo 220 basically has a USB port on the back. Attach your USB wire cable. It should automatically take power from the battery. Place it in the cradle, docking station. Click, it's locked in place. It can't come out, no matter how many bumps you hit on the road. Now the great thing about the Garmin Zumo 220 is its size. A size like this means that when you stop and you're going to dismount your bike and go to a restaurant or whatever on a trip, it's so small that you just pick it up, take it off, and put it in your pocket. One of the great features of the Garmin Zumo 220 is its ability to connect via Bluetooth to a headset such as the Scala Rider Q2 Pro. It will send turn-by-turn directions to your headset. You'll hear them as you drive, and I'll show you how that works. To connect the Scala Rider to the Garmin Zumo, it's basically turn it on. I've already connected this in the past. There's a pairing that's already taken place. So I'm about to go for a ride, I turn it on, and if I look at the Garmin, it basically says pairing was successful. Now to do a quick demo of the Zumo 220 and simulate what it sounds like in your helmet, What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this caveman style. I'm going to have the GPS run a simulation as if it's taking me to a destination, and I'm going to put the helmet over top of the camera and see how that works. So here we go. So I'll hit menu, where to. Once again, I'll pick a gas station. Nearby, it finds all the ones, shows me the distance where they are. So I'll pick one not too far. And it's almost ready to go. So I'm going to try to do this at the same time. I'll put the helmet over top. And then without smashing anything, I'm going to hit go. And then hit yes for simulation.
Left on Montress Drive. 650 meters, then turn left on Waters Road.
So it doesn't sound too bad, and also my helmet has a tinted visor. You can still see the GPS with the tinted visor. I'm going to put it down. This way you don't have to wear sunglasses.
Then turn left on Waters Road.
So there you go. It's pretty decent. If I take that off, there you go. And that's the tinted visor. Very reflective. Some of the things I like and dislike about the Garmin Zumo 220. First off, it's very responsive with gloves, but if you're going to type in an address, it's not very good. Eventually they should have a feature where you just speak the address into your helmet via Bluetooth, and it works out quite well. In this case, the Bluetooth is only one way. It's from the device to your helmet. If you want to find something, you're either going to have to look it up on the map or type in an address. If I go where to and I type in an address, Ontario, spell city, say I want to spell Toronto. You can see my keyboard is very tiny for gloves. You might want to pull over and take your glove off, although you can do it. There's a second type of keyboard that you can set where it's going to split the keyboard into multiple screens. Makes it a bit easier with gloves because the buttons are about 3 times the size that they are on the screen. Although, if I wanted to type something in like Toronto, I could be here all day going T-O. Anyways, I'm not going to bother with that. One of the things I do like is that no matter where you are, wherever you see your icon, in my case it's a motorcycle, all you have to do is touch your icon and it tells you where you are. So if you're out driving around the back roads, which all us bikers do, touch that, shows you where you are, shows you where the nearest fueling station is, police station and hospital, gives you all your coordinates. And if I wanted to find out where's the nearest police station, I hit that, it's going to find the closest one to me. It says there's one 8.3 kilometers away. Same as hospital or whatnot. Hospital, same thing. Let's see, if I was injured right now, well, I'd have my nearest hospital is 12 kilometers away. And also you can look things up. Another great device, or I should say feature on the Garmin Zumo 220 that's great with your gloves is that, say I am at a location and I want to go to some other location and I can't be bothered to type it in, but I know approximately where it is. Just touch the screen, turns into 2D, then you can zoom in or out. I can go out, zoom out, and then I can just move the screen around, find out where I want to go, and then just wait for it to redraw, find something I want, and say I want to go there. You could just touch, and you could select use the point and say here's a little go. So if I hit the go button, it's going to take me right to where I'm pointing. So that's a pretty good feature. Some things I don't like is actually the maps. Garmin, I've had nothing but problems with the maps on Garmin, and when I say problems, it's that Garmin has a system whereas they provide maps to the world, to where the Garmin device is. And my Zumo came with the lifetime maps from Garmin, which is basically a little card. You type in the code on the back and it connects it to this device. You get 4 map updates a year. I've lived in Ottawa for 11 years, and there are roads on here that still do not show up on the maps even though they exist. They've existed for the last 3 years. So doing map updates, you get 4 of them a year. You know, it's hit and miss if it's actually going to update where the roads where you hope them to be. Some other great things that I like about it: recalculates really fast if you're off course. Has a neat custom route option, which I think is one of the greatest thing ever designed. I don't know if I can show it to you here. I'll try it really quick. Say I go where do I want to go, and then I head down. I'll select custom routes. I want to make a new one. Basically, it says add a start point and add an end point. So how this works is the points have to already be in your Zumo. So it must be a waypoint that you've saved. You put the first one in, and then you put the last one in. And then if there's any place along in between that you want to go, you add that. It lets you add it. It's really good. Then it gives you 3 options. It says, all right, you want to go from point A to point B? I can take you there on highways, or I can take you there on all the back roads, which is great for a biker, or I can take you there as the crow flies, and you set your destinations along the way. It's a really great system. It's one of my favorite options on the Zumo. No need of a computer. You can make some really great routes. Another great feature on here is it captures plenty of travel information. As soon as you get home, you plug the USB cable into your computer. If you use the map software that comes with it, it will then show you your whole ride on a map, and will give you information every few minutes along the way, how fast you were going, what was your elevation, and whatnot, and so forth and so on. Really good for if you go for a ride with your friends and you come back and you say, wow, that was a great road. Then you can put it on your computer, save it, so it's maybe something you go to again in the future. Waterproof device. I know that for a fact. I was out yesterday and it poured rain and the device works perfectly in the rain. It's small, fits in your pocket. Unlike some of the other Garmin models, which are getting much larger in size, this one here, when you come to a stop, you can just take it off, throw it in your pocket, walk into a restaurant, gas station, whatever. You don't have to worry. The larger ones, have fun trying to fit those into your pocket. So this one here is really good for that. Durable, you can drop it as many times as you want. Works quite well. The only Achilles heel I found with this device is when you're updating maps. Sometimes Garmin has some bugs in it. I would recommend never update maps during riding season. If you live in Canada, your riding season is about 6 to 8 months. During the off period, update the maps, because Garmin, sometimes when they do the map update, it can actually brick your GPS, and your GPS will no longer function because the map update doesn't work properly. That can happen with any device. So far it's happened with me once, and I had to exchange the device, which Garmin lets you exchange it. You get a refurbished model. It takes about a week, or if you drop it off in Montreal, Canada, it takes about 5 minutes. It's not a problem. Dislikes, the sun. If you're out on a sunny day, it's best to have this connected to your headset in your helmet so that you can hear the commands, because you won't see them on the screen. If the sun glares on this screen, you won't see anything. It'd be at a loss. Garmin, you can buy a Garmin hood. This is a tiny little sporty one, and it basically snaps onto your GPS. But you would have to hook up your GPS in such a manner, more forward, so that it doesn't get the glare. I find myself a lot of times when there's sun's glare, I have to take my hand off one of the handlebars and I just take a look there to see where I'm going. But if I have the information fed into my helmet, I'm fine. And I guess the last thing that I would say I don't really care for is the screen is rather small. I do not have big fingers. I have sport gloves on, so it works quite well. Sometimes it can become cumbersome if it gets hot out and you get all sweaty. You can get frustrated, so you definitely have to pull over. It's definitely not an item to use while you're driving and trying to set destinations as you're moving forward. Pull over, do everything you have to do, maybe take your glove off, then life is good. So the Garmin Zumo 220 is a great device for any motorcyclist. One thing I can assure you is by having this device, this Garmin, you'll get out and ride more.